Hi, I'm Sean Horror. You're listening to Music Existence.
Welcome to another instance of music existence where, because of music, we exist. Today I have with me Sean Horror. Did some solo stuff back in 2015, but as of 2020, he's been leading the band DarkFlow, the shock rock band based in Switzerland. They recently released the single Press the Button, which will be on the album Imminent End, slated for release later this month. Welcome, Sean. Glad to have you, man.
Well, thank you very much for having me in your program. And this is really an important thing for me. I like to talk about my music, and it's really nice to be speaking with you, man. So let's hang around a moment.
Awesome, man. Very excited to be with you. So you're originally from Chile, is that right?
I am originally from Chile, yes, but I have been almost 15 years here in Switzerland, and I've been playing in my band for 5 years.
Oh, that's really cool. Like when I think of the Santiago scene, like really cool bands of their own, like Dorso, Necrosis, Massacre.
Exactly, Dorston and Cross, they were no, they were friends of mine.
Oh, cool, man.
Yeah, yeah, we played together sometimes
That's really
back in the
cool.
days.
So you go way back. You were very involved in the underground scene in Chile, right?
Yes, I was completely involved. Yes, we did a lot of. I was collaborating with a lot of bands, and I did have mine that it was called Erratic, but that was the Chilean part of my life. Then I came back here in Switzerland, and I started playing in a band that was called No Stand in San Francisco. And then I got tired of that band and started my solo career. But being a solist is really difficult because you have to have a lot of money and you have to pay bills to everybody who's playing with you. And then I started a band called DarkFlow with my guitar player and best friend. And together we have managed to grow up as one of the most important shock metal bands in the area.
Awesome, man. Yeah, and I see a lot of your fans. They love not only the music, but their engagement with you is really cool, and it's cool that you can reach out to them directly.
Well, I am a guy who always believed that being in proximity with people is really important because when you are like you want to play it like a rock star and say like no, I don't want to meet people or all those kind of things, I think that they're not good in these times because we're in years where people need to how you can say people need to connect with each other. And if you're not connecting with them, then why?
Mm.
And I am a real people's person. I like to speak with people, even if I don't know them very well, or even if I don't know and if they like my music and they want to speak about that, I will take my time to hear them, to even if they have some critics or whatever, I'm gonna hear them. I'm gonna be there for them. And I
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah. Same way you hear from me, man, in this interview.
Yeah, of course. I like talking to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody deserves time, and everybody have I don't know. Well, if you are want to talk about my band, there's a lot to tell, and there's so much, and it's fun, and it's fun to be talking with somebody who is interested in.
Mm-hmm. And I was wondering, so yeah, we can take it way back to the beginning if you want. When you were growing up, um, what was your musical environment like? Was it a combination of like the Chilean music, Latin music, and then whatever rock and roll from around the world?
Well, I was more well when I was a child, I was really into a lot of music, but then I was 6 years old. I bought this album called the Black Album of Metallica. And then it was like, okay, I want to do this kind of music. I love this music, metal. Then I started learning about, I don't know, Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All. started learning about Metallica. Then Ozzy Osbourne came, and I started learning also from Ozzy Osbourne. And then when I was, I don't know, like 10 years old or 11 years old, I met Merciful Fate, and that's when everything changed. That was a game changer for me. It was like, I don't want to hear music anymore. I want to do this. I want to have a cool makeup and be on stage and doing shows. And I've been fighting for that since 20 years. And I've been doing that, wow, long, for a long time. And I'm young. I'm 35 years old, but I've been working my music since I'm 15 years old as professionally.
Oh wow, that's cool. Yeah, I'm 34, and that's really cool that we, as musicians, we can connect to that, pursuit, and that's really cool how metal sort of really bit you early on. You mentioned Merciful Fate, and that's also connected with King Diamond. You're very good
Of
friends
course.
with Andy LaRocque. How did that relationship get started?
Well, Andy LaRock, I sent him an email once with a song of our first EP, and I asked him if he would like to mix and master our first album, and he said yes. And then for the second album, then the one that is going to be released at the end of this month, he we were talking, and he was like, "Yeah, I would like to produce it. What do you think?" And it was like, "Wow, yeah, of course. I'm a huge fan of you, and having you in the team, it's like really cool. But I am clearly I am a really fan of King Diamond, Merciful Fate, and everything. But I'm a calm guy. I'm not like a crazy fan that's gonna jump over or be really like clingy or whatever. I am. It's just people. People who has done amazing things. So yeah, I respect him for as a musician. But when we work together, it's work. It's not like I am with my big, huge eyes watching a star and saying I am going to do everything he says. It's not how it happens
Yeah,
with me.
because you're gonna have disagreements inevitably. Like,
Well, it's not that disagreements
yeah,
exactly per se. It's more like I would do it this way. No, but I do it this way. Ah,
yeah.
okay. And this is my music. Okay, yes, this is true.
Yeah, yeah, and it goes like you have a lot of history, obviously, as a musician. So what led you to Switzerland?
Well, what led me to Switzerland is I came here to make studies on marketing, and I stayed.
Oh,
I just realized that I prefer to stay here in Switzerland to go back to Chile. There were more opportunities in music, and even if it's not a musical country, Switzerland is a really hard country to do music. It's a nice country to live. It's peaceful. You're quiet. Well, now I'm married. I have my wife. She had children. So things happening. Life goes on. And that's what I like to do, to live life at the utmost that I can. I'm sick. I am really, really sick. I have a neurodegenerative disease, so I've been doing only what I like to do, that is music.
well, that's really cool because I have a neurological disability myself. I was born with cerebral palsy, and it's not a disease, but I can relate to taking your time, and also being at the stage where some things like I know that I wouldn't be ready for if not like in like a certain frame of mind where I can say, all right, I'm ready to do this physically and really show myself and really prove myself and just get out there.
Yeah, of course, I can understand. The thing is that you have to, and sometimes there's a way. I always thought that if you don't go out there, well, there's nobody that is gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
So, well, I am not I'm not in a wheelchair. I just have
Yeah.
an operation in my hip, so I can walk again.
Mm-hmm.
I've been like really fighting
Yeah.
for being the more normal I can, but I suffer from a lot of
Yeah.
chronic. neurological pain that is really, really, really a fucking mess.
Yeah, it is.
And
I'm
I
sure
am
it is,
trying.
man.
It's horrible. And that's the topic of our first album, Insane Circus, which I present all my sickness because it came to me in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And since then I've been fighting for, and I did an album because I needed to cut out all this because it was so much for me.
So you got that
Uh,
on top of COVID. Wow, on top of the world going to shit, basically.
exactly. I got exactly in the worst moment that you can be sick.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah.
So yeah, it was difficult. It was a really difficult thing to do and to live, like being in the hospital for like 2 months and nobody could see you, nobody can come to see you. You are just alone with your computer watching series and doing treatments that you don't even remember because they were really, really fucked up and really extreme. So it was like, okay, well, I'm in this one.
Mm-hmm. And you stuck it by with Flow. Flow is like the conceptualizer. So how how far do you guys go back, and what do you think is like the essence of your friendship in like getting this music project going?
Well, everything started because we were always going to the same bar. So we
Mm-hmm.
started speaking to each other, and it was like in a moment, it was, dude, you play guitar and I sing. Why don't we try to do something? And then, well, DarkFlow started. Little by little, of course, we had a lot of musicians coming and going, and there was a lot of things happening inside. And finally, we established, well, the band, but it was a really hard work to do. And you said that he's the compositor of the music.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
composes. I am the one who puts the concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I am the concept creator. He's the musical creator. I sent him lyrics and ideas, and he used them as ideas that he can put with this kind of theme or this kind of theme because I wrote this, I wrote that. If we're talking about the end of the world and the bombs are falling, then we have to have something more theatrically done, more let's say more military
Yeah.
or more I don't know scary
Yeah.
and with the sirens sounding and stuff like that, you know.
Mm-hmm. And
So
yeah, like so, like when it came to the first stuff you put out, like that EP 6, I mean, that is like, and it's not just about metal, I notice, like, especially when the EP starts out, it has like a very dirty sound, a really dirty bass sound, I noticed.
yeah, exactly. The idea of that EP was to just find out how we wanted to make music. There was a lot of ideas coming on. Every song is really different, and there's a lot of jazzy spaces because we had jazz musicians with us. So we were like, everybody was composing, everybody was doing everything. And then for the next album, we said, no, we're going to work only me, you, and the bass player that we have in that moment, and we're going to start something new. And then we started this like shock metal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
While the first EP is a great show of, we show really who we are, but in fact in the other albums we're more professional, more tight, more, we have more orchestrations and more theater. So that's the level up. And now we have this new album coming, which is even more a level up.
Mm-hmm. And I love all that, you know, for more perspective, I mean, it goes, I love like the artwork too. It's very nostalgic, but there's also like a modern feel to it. That's Sebastian Osorio, is that right?
The one who did the cover of Six is Sebastian Osorio,
Okay.
but the other two albums is done by Victor McNamara.
So how do you like his art style? How do you enjoy it? Does it bring out like certain emotions for you?
Well, he does precisely as I ask. That's the most important thing for me.
Yeah.
And he works really, really well, and he delivers the final the final projects. When he finished something, it's like, okay, are you really sure that you want this like this? Yes, perfectly. And I am really like picky,
Hmm.
I will not be like, yeah, do it your way and then we see. No, it's like, no, it's more like, no, no, dude, I need this to be done like that, and I prefer this point of view. I would rather to have this kind of artwork for this song. Each song has its artwork because I like to explain it also with art what we're doing, you know. Of course, music is art, but I'm talking about visual art.
And speaking of the visuals, I mean, with the masochist, you have the sexy girl, and then in Let Me See You, you have this contrast of like, you know, the guy like going through like something like monstrous, and then the contrast between that and the little kitten. The kitten is like it's almost like pure. It's like destruction and impurity, in the same artwork.
Well, that's insane circus. The song that is like different from the concept of insane circus is the masochist, where I speak about my masochism,
Mm-hmm.
because suffering all of what I have suffered and everything and keep on boat is because you are a fucking masochist. And then let me see you. You have exactly the opposite, where you have this kind of love arrangement between me, myself, Sean Horror, and the cat, the
Mm-hmm.
kitten that is there. And I am saying goodbye to my kitten in the song, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
dying, you
Yeah.
know, because well, when the doctors told me that I was sick, they told me that it was really, a, really a deadly disease. I was not going to make it more than 5 years and everything, and I have been fighting till, and I keep fighting. I don't know how much time it's going to take, but I'm gonna do my best,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm working now. It's health and music.
Mm-hmm. And I believe you, man. I know that you're fighting, and I think kind of fate has a way of bringing us together in the same way.
Well, of course, life put people together, and people are sometimes, if you see two people that are sick talking together, it's
Yeah.
really interesting because you have so many points of view of how different it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, I see that you can't work.
Mm-hmm.
I can, but I have pains that wake me up every
Yeah,
day,
even
or
if you do walk, it is like painful.
it's a fucking challenge, being in a good mood. It's really difficult. Feeling well, like
Yeah.
wanting to do things and feeling strongly well and being productive is really hard, because it's not like a normal day for a normal person.
Yeah.
I'm in neuronal pain while I'm trying to be productive,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely, man. I
and
I
this is
like
constant pain.
yeah, I can relate, man. It sucks. It's bullshit,
Yeah,
man.
I lost an eye. I've been fighting with trying to not lose this one because I don't want to go blind.
Hmm.
That's why there's a song that is called "It's Getting Darker," which explains how I am losing my sight.
Hmm.
And
So you speak
well,
directly to your circumstances. That's really powerful.
in that album, yes, I really explain my circumstances. Each song is one part of me falling off, and how I feel it and how I get drowned in it and how I feel the sorrow, the sadness, the distraction, the auto distraction, self distraction, doing things, like in a moment I didn't give a fuck about my life because it was so messed up that I was just drinking and not giving a fuck, And now it's the opposite. I am not drinking. I'm trying to get in better shape. I'm trying to do stuff for myself. I'm trying to be more. collaborative with people and trying to see and find ways to bring um, to ease the the work.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And yeah,
it's hard.
yeah, it is, right? And but you keep going, man. And so that's what Insane Circus is about. Just that whole struggle and wanting to work and push forward regardless.
Exactly. While the concept of the next album is completely different. It's the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's how
Yeah,
the only
Imminent End.
it,
So yeah, let's talk about Imminent End. So the single from that is called "Press the Button," and you know the phrase "It's between you and God." Well, it literally is between you and God because God's coming, and then you're coming to end the world first.
well, the thing is that each song it stands for alone for a way that the world is ending in any way in the any place in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You see in each song, and then there's a song where humanity, instead of helping people, it stands more divided,
Yeah.
and then God gets really mad and comes to Earth to destroy Earth with the four horsemen and everything. And in that precise moment, I come to tell a leader of the world, like now it's time for you to press the button. So I am like with a gun pointing him in his head, telling him you're going to live if you press the button. But I am just torturing psychologically. And then there's the last song that is not yet, of course, there, but it's called Whistle from the Skies. That is the result of after pressing the button. And that's like me fighting God, like I won. He'll always win.
Right, right, and like back to press the button, the video especially. So, by giving it context, that's interesting that you put it that way, because the guy has a gun up to his head, and then he knows that by pressing the button, the world's gonna end, the world's gonna die, everyone's gonna die. But then you're in his ear saying you're gonna live if you press the button. That's
Exactly. It's just a torture, psychological torture, because the guy knows or maybe can understand that he's also going to die. Everything's gonna die. But
yeah.
in the same time, what do you prefer? In anyways, I'm going to press the button myself if you don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
do it, and maybe you live. Do it, or don't do it and die. But
Yeah.
they can be a post-apocalyptic world in this in after this album. But
Mm-hmm.
I have to see what I'm going to do for the next one.
Mm-hmm. So for Imminent End, I mean, what did you want now, production wise, working with Andy on it and like really getting those ideas together?
Well, the ideas always came from me, in the concept.
Mm-hmm.
Then the compositions comes from Flow,
Mm-hmm.
and that was really interesting because Flo is a really great compositor. He really works really great his music, and he has a lot of styles of music to share. He likes progressive rock. He's a really thrash metal guitar player. He loves also heavy metal. So he implants this while I bring all the gothic side, all the show style, the orchestration side too, bring like these two worlds that are really apart together, and that brings something interesting that is really like maybe we didn't invent nothing, but the whole is really original.
Mm-hmm. It's really cool. It's a very involved, very like it's like you're putting on the show. There's a lot of color to it, but there's also like a tinge of humor to it too.
It has to have a change of humor. You can't be always in the same humor. You have
Yeah.
to have like you have to express sadness. You have to spread
Yeah.
anarchy. You have to express yourself also. I don't
Yeah.
know, like craziness.
Anarchy,
You have to
punk like
express
Los Prisioneros.
exactly. You have to go wild. And it's really important that every song has its differences because in one song you're going to be more sad, in another song you're going to be more menacing, in another song you're going to be more like I am the most powerful man in the world. In another
Or
songs you
even
are like
happy,
yeah,
even
exactly.
glad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's delightful to show everything, and as I said before, every song is really different. So for really knowing the album, you have to go through hearing it all along, to see and to
Hmm.
understand the lyrics, understand the concept, understand each song. Each song is really different,
Hmm.
so it must be heard not like a single or I like this song and not this song. You have to hear it all, and then you understand the concept of the whole album that we did.
I'm glad that you're a believer in that because I think that's what's missing, especially with the current promotion model. Everyone's about single, single, single. That's how they did it back in the 50s. But now, like, I love albums, man. I love sinking in the themes, drinking in, like, all these concepts, and I love how songs connect between one another.
Well, I always thought that an album is a work that is planned to be from A to Z, and you can't like just hear the single of the album. You need to hear the whole piece. It's a whole
Course.
piece. And
Absolutely.
people people have lost that, and the musical business has lost that also. That's the way our music is not easy to promote because it's different, and you can't push everything forward, and it's really dark to manage your music to go further because people wants to hear a song about 3 minutes that it's easy hearing and then it's done. And then they can get catchy inside the song. Well, DarkFlow is completely the opposite of that. We're still with the 80s and the 90s with us. I King Diamond is my favorite artist, and I will always do music like this that way. Like one album is one story. One album is one story with a lot of details, a lot of well, the lyrics are really hard also because you have a lot of lyrical things that I do in the songs that are not normal or common English. It's more like it's not only that tongues in English, but it's a way of expressing in English really hard.
Hmm. And that's really cool how you're able to even, even though English is like a second language, you learn creatively and by immersion of like the people that you love, the people that you have in your corner. You learn to express yourself better.
Exactly. Well, I have to, when you're doing music in English, learn English. Learn it well because I've been speaking English since I'm a little boy. But at the same time, I wasn't as good as I am now speaking in English. Speaking English is a language. It's
Hmm.
a language that is completely different from Spanish, that it's my mother tongue, and French, that is the second language that I speak because I'm in a French part of Switzerland,
Oh yeah.
and and that's the language that I speak the most. English is just a language that I use in music or when I'm speaking with people like you, when I'm doing interviews or stuff like that. But here on the daily basis, I'm speaking in French.
Oh wow. That's really cool. So in the same way you learned from that just immersion of speaking with different people, right?
Well, for writing albums, I train myself like 2 or 3 hours a day, writing poems, writing things, so I can improve my writing and be more like brutal with your lyrics and have a sense and bring something else to the table because you have in the shock metal scene King Diamond, Alice Cooper, you have a Ghost, you have a lot of bands that have died. I don't know, maybe the Crazy World of Arthur Brown. You have Snowy Shaw, who played the drums in the first album from our first album. You have a lot of shock rockers that are doing music now, and I needed to be in the same level. And going to the same level, you have to study, work, and create. And for
Yeah,
creating a good,
and then that's probably how the Shanghai persona, the Shanghai character, came into being.
yeah, exactly. Well, Horror was created in Chile.
Yeah.
It was
Oh,
I
okay.
created when I
So it
was
went from Chile to Switzerland, right?
exactly. I created Horror when I was 15 years old. So it's been 20 years that I've been in character.
20 years. All right. 20 years with Sean Har. Wow. That is
Yeah,
like all encompassing. And you mentioned Arthur Brown, the king of hellfire.
and the King of Hellfire. Exactly. That's the thing. I know a lot of music. I am somebody who hears a lot of different types of music. Even if we do metal music, I like a lot of different styles. I'm a fan of ABBA. If you can see in my tattoo here,
Everybody loves ABBA.
of course, who wouldn't? I like Bee Gees. I like a lot of things that are different. I like the 80s pop music. I like Sandra, Sabrina. I like a lot of things that I have been doing. I am someone who is really open to a lot of types of music.
uh,
I do not like hip hop. That's something that I can't. I don't know why I couldn't. I just tried, but I can't. Sometimes Eminem can have some songs, but I am not somebody who is done for that kind of music.
yeah, and I'll tell you, like there was this guy named Alex Poe that I interviewed. He was from the Ukraine. He had this like black metal project, but all we really talked about and all we really connected on was like alternative rock from the Ukraine from the 80s and 90s. That really resonated with him. So,
Well, of course that resonated with him. It's a guy who's just a true metal guy, you know. And I am in Switzerland. I'm in the middle of Europe, so I have like influences coming all along, and there's concerts everywhere here in this country.
and like
You
I
have
think
every
Slowdive was in Switzerland, the shoegaze band.
I think so too.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
like a lot of shoegaze bands are coming to Switzerland.
No, every kind of band is coming into Switzerland. There's a lot of metal bands coming. There's a lot of hard rock bands coming. There's a lot of blues band coming. There's a lot of, as you said, showcase bands coming. There's a lot of, wow, there's also like, well, so many styles. In fact, they're always here. Pop music, things like New Order, The
Yeah, I love
Clash,
New
things
Order
like
and
that.
Joy Division.
Yeah, exactly. Things like that. You have this kind of gothic rock going on. There's a scene for that too. So it's really interesting. It's a really interesting country.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. And like considering your career and what you've done thus far, what have you learned about yourself, not only as a musician but as a person?
Wow, that's a really difficult question to answer because I've learned a lot of things and I've been more quiet. I learned to be more less crazy. I was like a really crazy guy before, and now I'm really like a standby, quiet guy. I take my time with things. I'm not in a rush. I'm not rushing people for nothing. I'm
So you used to be
taking.
like that, right?
I was really intensive before. Now I am really calm.
That's really cool. So you
Yeah, yeah.
learned to,
Well, we learn.
yeah, and it's important. And I think, yeah, when we're young, we're like super impulsive. We need to like get this need met, that need met, and then it's like, when you get into even in your 30s, you can you're still prone to that, but then eventually you say like, okay, no, this is next level. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna be better,
W-
and you have.
Well, it's part of I don't know, maturity maybe, experiencing life. I with my sickness I learned a lot of experiences, and I've been clinically dead one time. So
Oh, you have.
after that, yeah. So I have to learn to persist. And for persisting, I have to learn also not to be partying all the time and being unhealthy because my body can't anymore. So I have to take it easy and slowly and do things with reasoning before just impulsive things. And I am a very passionate person, but I have to also know my limits. And sometimes there's a huge kind of limits,
Yeah,
and
it's
you have
like one
to
beer, one beer, please.
exactly one, just the one. Because
Yeah.
when I take the second one, there's gonna be a third one, a fourth one, a fifth one, and then it's gonna be just a mess.
I know, man. I know. Oh, man. But lastly, anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Well, I would like to say to my friends that go to Spotify, try to hear DarkFlow, try to learn about us, try to go to our website, try to pre-save the new album. There's a link to pre-save the album. It's going to be an amazing production, so you need to hear this one. And I would like to say too that everything that you're going to hear, it's going to be really different from what it's been heard before. This is a really new thing.
Mm-hmm.
So take a chance on us.
Awesome, man. That's great, man. This has been fantastic, man. Thank you
No,
so
thank
much.
you.